Got the bill ready to go. It's not bad for what it's made out of. I think what I'm going to do next here is I'm not going to attach the bill. I'm going to take all of this stuff and I'm going to start cutting it up. And I'm basically not sure how I'm going to do it. I'm either going to use 2-tone epoxy or I might just use super glue. But I'm going to cut pieces up of this stuff. So you're going to have orange on the belly. And then I'll have some blue on there. Might throw in some greens, I don't know. Probably going to have some purples on it, on the sides. And I was thinking maybe with like this, off the Whopper Plopper box. I'm going to cut some fins out of this. It's already got that design on it, looks pretty cool. River to Sea mini Whopper Plopper box. I don't know, I'm going to experiment around with some of this. I just grabbed a bunch of stuff that I seen on the ground that looked kind of shiny and had some color to it, some stuff like that. Some darker colors. I don't know, we'll see what we're going to do here. Stencil that I use for airbrushing for fins. Marked them out on there. I'm going to cut those guys out for fins for the side of it. And the scissors. Fin. I think that'll work. Pretty good for a fin. It looks good. Colors too. I'll make 2 of those. Okay, so I have this little bluegill here. Got some purples in it, some greens. I'm gonna go with a bluegill on this. Gonna go bluegill colors. The only airbrushing I'm gonna do is probably on the back and the lines. Probably be sepia. So what I did was I got some orange, I got some blue, I got this for the bottom, and then I'm gonna figure out where to go from there. I'm gonna put some other weird stuff on there just to throw some weird colors in there. Anyway, so I mixed up some plastisol. It's all recycled. It's mainly robo worms and stuff like that, just like a purple color. Throw it in the microwave, put it in for like 1.5 minutes, 2 minutes, stir it up a little bit, and then I do 30-second intervals until it is liquidy like that. You can test it with the heat gun and all that stuff. I usually just get it to where it looks good like that. And you can pretty much tell it. You'll see the stuff kind of rising on itself. It's a lot of the bubbles trying to come out of there. Steady and fast. It looks like it's full there, which it is, but this stuff always settles. So you want to let it sit there for a minute. Probably could have mixed this a little bit better. Get a little bit more of those bubbles out. Yeah, I was just want to top it off a little bit. I probably could have made this mold a little bit better, made it to where I could have injected these, but I just wanted to make it to where I could make these really quick like. And here's the other one from the other mold that I made, which this one also fits. It's just some 2-piece plaster molds. The trick to these guys is putting Vaseline in between the 2 layers when you mold each side. You can see I got the air release things on there. A little ant crawling in there. Got the air release on there. So when you pour in, the air shoots out those little release. I got them on the sides, and then I got them coming down the things. And then I use just a drill bit, drill a little hole right here. It makes these little knobs, and that just holds the whole deal together. That way it doesn't slide on you. Anyways, that's how you make those. Oops, sawdust in there. Need to clean my bench off. Anyway, wait for that to cool. Now let's go. Pop the clamps off this guy. Let's see what we got here. Pop the part real easy. Yeah, that's good. There's two. Yep. Those are flapping. So, got the bait to this stage, and I'm gonna do this little trick that I learned from Marling Baits. I'm just gonna take this super glue, and I'm just going to put it all over this bait and smear it on there. And what this is gonna do is it's gonna seal the entire bait. That way I was gonna seal it a different way. I don't really have the time to wait. I ran to Home Depot real quick, and I grabbed this. And it's quicker to run to Home Depot and grab this than to have to wait almost a day and a half for this to dry. So anyways, I'm going to continue doing this, and then I can start wrapping this with the colors. And I can also use this to put the colors I want on here. You can see it bonding. Sometimes you can see that smoke come off of it. It's crazy. So I got this thing completely coated. This Loctite super glue. Really stinks. I had the fan going. I turned it off real fast. So I suggest do this outside or have a fan going. Stuff stinks. Once that dries, next step. Real quick, I forgot to say, when I put that glue on there, I just used one of these the plastic bristled brushes, and I figured that it would dry up and get hard as soon as I started smearing it around, but it actually stayed soft. It's still soft. So if you ever need to smear this stuff on and you want to do it quick because it's kind of runny and it was running down the bait, I was able to do it really fast with this brush hook. Alright, so I got this guy completely coated. I used the Loctite super glue and I used the plastic bristled brush, still kind of pliable. Once I got a little bit of sawdust on there, it dried up on me. But as I poured it on the super glue, it was running down. I was able to just use this brush and smear it all around there. So now this thing's going to be completely sealed, and it really stinks. So I suggest turning a fan on. I had the fan on, but I turned it off so I could talk right now. And put this up by the fan. I would suggest if you put this on, if you don't have a place to do it with ventilation, I'd say do it outside because this stuff really smells. Anyway, on to the next step, which will be wrapping this thing once it dries. Alright guys, so I took a break here, and I'm glad I did, because sometimes I procrastinate on things, and it will make me realize that I skipped a part in the process, or a step in the process. So I forgot to put some weight on the bottom of this thing. If I don't weight it, it's not going to turn the way it needs to. I have a lead pourer. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm going to get weird with this. Now I actually found this guy, the spinnerbait, at Tanzanite, like a year ago. But the hook is like, it's done. I mean, I could sharpen it, but it's done. It's basically done. So I think what I'm going to do with this guy, I'm just going to take that off. Richard gave me all of his stuff to make spinner baits. You guys are going to see in a couple of videos from now, like I have about 20 spinner baits that he made that are just about finished, and I got to finish them. As he moved back to North Carolina, he'll be back in about 2 years. Oops. So what I do with all this, all these components, is I just put them in this little thing over here. I got this little tray, and I just keep all my blades and all my stuff. If I ever need to dig through there, I just go grab some blades. That's nothing though. I have a whole box of stuff that Richard got me. Anyways, back to this. So I'm going to take this guy, and I'm just going to clip this guy down. Everyone knows you bend metal back and forth, it snaps off. So I've got that down to almost just the hook and the weight. This is going to be kind of the tough part. I'm not even really sure what I'm doing here. I'm just kind of doing stuff and making a video, and thought this would be fun. Pop that guy off. I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to drill a hole and just stick that guy in there. That way I can say that I used some weight that was from Tanzanite Pond also. Yeah, no, I just ruined a spinner. I probably could have sharpened that and fixed it, but it is what it is. I don't really like those rusted out hooks. They get rusted out, this thing snap, catch a big fish on it, snap off. It's not fun. Alright, so I'm going to drill this out. I'm going to stick this guy in there. My lighting's not the best in here. Hey, would you look at that? It fits perfect in there. Didn't have to modify it or nothing. That's pretty cool. I just grabbed a random bit, put it in. I kind of guessed at the size. All I gotta do is cut this guy off somehow. I'll probably just use a hacksaw and cut that guy off and get to the next step. Alright guys, so I got that clipped off, shoved it down in the hole. It fit perfectly actually. It's kind of crazy. So what I'm gonna do the old baking soda and super glue. Just gonna pour that in there, get it somewhat good on there. Soak down in there, and then fix it up. Basically, instantly workable. Good enough for me. It's flat. Works. I might clean it up a little bit with the sandpaper and then move on. Right guys, so I did not want to bore you with the process of putting all this on there. And it took quite a while to do it. The glue was not wanting to stick. The pieces were not wanting to stick. Yeah, we got some pretty cool stuff going on in here. Lucky Crafts, got the USA. Now, would you look at that? Enter for your chance to win. Maybe I'm going to do something with this. You know what's really funny? Is I just weighed this thing and it's about 2 ounces. Once I put the hooks and everything else on this, it's going to be close to 4 ounces. If this thing ends up being 4 ounce bait, I'm going to just, that's going to be too much. Anyway, so what I'm going to do next is I'm going to 2-ton epoxy this whole thing. Once I 2-ton epoxy it, I can come back and airbrush on top of the 2-ton epoxy. There's a lot of guys that make the musky baits. They do some really cool paint jobs. They'll like layer like 4 layers of epoxy, and each layer of epoxy, they airbrush in between each layer, and it makes the layering, like the paint job pops out. So trying to make this video a little bit short if I can. Anyways, got some pretty cool stuff going on this bait. Gonna epoxy it, airbrush it, get this thing put together, man. This is a long video. Thank you guys for watching it. And I think I'm gonna give this bait away when I'm done. Anyways, Herb Besslers. So I went ahead and epoxied this guy. This part's dry, this part's wet. I did this last night. I just did this part. Didn't want to bore you guys with mixing up epoxy. It's just 2-part epoxy. Mix it up. Use the plastic bristled brush. I take 2 of them and I stick them together and I tape them together so it's got double bristle. So the next step here is I'm going to be airbrushing some colors onto this stuff. Using some of this. Got some paints I'm going to be using. The sepia. My reducer out here. It's really hot. I got some stencils I might use. It's really hot out here. Just turn the fan and the lights and everything off so I can talk real fast and then turn it all back on. Got the air compressor going. I'll probably edit out all the volume. This camera's not that great. Anyways, I'm gonna get to painting this thing. I just want to have that fan going when you're painting. Suck out all the air. Pearlized white, pearlized plum, pearlized lime, some sepia. I think those are the only colors I'm going to use. Use the stencil. Put these lines on there. Both sides. Alrighty guys, so I got it to this point, got it all finished up. I got the tail attached, drilled some holes in there and stuck toothpicks through it. That thing is super floppy. And if it rips out, I got a whole bunch more tails. I can make these any color I want. I got the mold. I can just heat up some plastisol and make a bunch more if I need to. And I also made this little dude. Pretty cool. Pretty cool little deal there. That tail That's the other tail that I made. Did the same thing, drilled some holes and attached it. Just got the one little single line tie. Drilled a little hole here and I stuck some weight in there. Just gonna be a little wake bait. I think I'm gonna make a bunch of these. If this thing runs good, definitely think I'm gonna make a bunch of these guys. And I don't know. Anyways, here's the bait. Now I just gotta take it out to Tanzanite Pond and go catch fish with it if I can. Anyways, been best layers.